إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Alhamdulillah, by the mercy of Allah, we are 1 day or 2 days away from Ramadan. And the Ramadan, inshallah, will start from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And it is Allah's blessings that Allah has enabled us and has given us the tawfiq, the ability to actually begin the month of Ramadan and inshallah complete the month of Ramadan. But the question we need to ask ourselves, right at the beginning of Ramadan, that what is the objective of Ramadan? Is it to abstain from food? Is it to abstain from eating and drinking? What is the objective? And can we actually achieve the objective by not eating and not drinking? How do we achieve the objective of Ramadan? And what is the Quranic objective of Ramadan? And how do we practically achieve the objective? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly mentioned in the Quran the objective of Ramadan. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. So the objective is very clear in this verse, and that is that we fast in the month of Ramadan, and through fasting we achieve taqwa in the month of Ramadan. So therefore, if we look at this whole month, that the month of Ramadan, when we fast, and the objective of this month is to achieve taqwa. So through fasting, we want to achieve taqwa by the end of this month. How is this achieved? It is a divinely devised program. And in fact, it is, you can say, it is 1 month intensive in-service taqwa training program for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this 1 month program so that we can achieve the objective. Now for any training, you need manual. Without the manual, you cannot train yourself. So therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not only given us an opportunity to train ourselves, but also has sent the manual to train ourselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. So this is the month of Ramadan in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the Quran. So this month is training for us. And the manual is the Quran, and the objective is to achieve taqwa by the end of Ramadan. If we want to achieve the objective, then we need to understand what is that objective. If the objective is taqwa, then what is taqwa? If we look at the meaning of taqwa, it is a sifa, it is an attribute, it is a quality that we earn or we gain in the month of Ramadan. In fact, it is the state of nafs. It is the state of nafs. It is awareness. It is consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is something in relation to the feeling of the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the presence and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stays in your conscience. It is more like if you take the example of a speed camera. That when you see the speed camera, you slow down. Because of that being in your conscious, it is the state of your mind. You straight away remember, you straight away realize that someone is watching you, and therefore you do not speed up. So taqwa is that state of mind, that you are in a state of mind that you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in your dhihn, in your mind, and you try to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we want to attain this level of taqwa, what are the obstacles? What doesn't allow us to achieve taqwa? If we look at the obstacles which does not allow you to achieve the objective of the taqwa, it is al-ma'asi, our sinful activities, our sins which does not allow us to achieve taqwa. So therefore, what we need to understand that if we want to achieve taqwa, we cannot achieve taqwa if we remain committing sins. Our sins does not allow us to achieve taqwa. At the same time, if you also look at what are the tools we use to commit sins, because when you commit sins, it doesn't allow you to achieve the taqwa. So what are the tools we use to commit sins? And there are many tools we use to commit sins. Some of those tools are inbuilt. So the tongue, al-lisan, is a tool we use to commit sins. Al-jawarih, the limbs, the hands and the legs, these are inbuilt tools we use to commit sins. So these are different inbuilt tools that we use. We don't need to go to any supermarket to buy tools to commit sins. These are inbuilt tools that we have, which we use to commit sins. Now, let us try to look at the program, the training program, how it helps us to achieve taqwa. Now, if we want to achieve taqwa, or if we want to raise the level of taqwa, then we have to reduce the level of committing sins. So there is a correlation between the sins and taqwa. So what we need to do, that if we want to achieve taqwa, then we have to lower the level of committing sins, and at the same time this will help us to increase the level of taqwa. And this is why we need to understand what prevents us from achieving taqwa, and what are the tools we use to commit sins. So inshallah, if we look at a five program in the month of Ramadan, which will help us to lower the level of committing sins and at the same time increase the level of taqwa. There are 5 programs that we can follow in the month of Ramadan, and they are mentioned in different hadiths and different verses of the Quran. One of those 5 programs is, number 1, that our desires are controlled in the month of Ramadan. So ash-shahawat, the desires are controlled in the month of Ramadan, because we commit sins because of our desires, our natural instincts. Because of that we commit sins. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the month of Ramadan, what happens? The food appetite is reduced, our tongue is controlled. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. In Tafsir al-Qurtubi, it is explained that when Allah says la'allakum tattaqun, perhaps you will attain taqwa, what that means, that la'allakum tad'afun, that perhaps you will become weaker. The meaning, one of the meanings is that perhaps you will become weaker. Now what happens in the month of Ramadan, that فَإِنَّهُ كُلَّمَا قَلَّتْ أَكَلْ ضَعْفَتْ الشَّهْوَةِ, that every time you eat less, your desires are reduced. Every time you eat less, your desires are reduced. وَكُلَّمَا ضَعْفَتْ الشَّهْوَةِ قَلَّتْ الْمَعَاصِي, and every time your desires are reduced, your committing of sins also reduces. So therefore, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَضْعَفُونَ, by not eating, you become weaker, your desires are reduced, and that helps you to commit less sins, because the objective is to attain taqwa. And what prevents you is your sinful activities. If we look at program number 2, in life, what happens? We like to blame others. When things go wrong, we blame others. And especially with the sins, we blame the shaitan. That shaitan is making us to commit sins. So what happens in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He chains up shaitan. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in a long hadith that وَسُلْسِلَةِ الشَّيَاطِينَ, or in a different hadith وَسُفِّدَةِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. So these satans are being chained up, or at least the leading ones are being chained up. So therefore there is no shaitan out there to distract you, to divert you, to deviate you, to make you do wrong things. So therefore we cannot blame anyone, because shaitan is being chained up in the month of Ramadan so that you don't commit any sins, and you want to achieve the taqwa in the month of Ramadan. Now one may ask that if shaitan is being chained up, why do we still commit sins in the month of Ramadan? And there are other reasons. Okay, one of them is kan-nufus al-khabitha, that some of us may have a nafs which is al-khabith, khabith nafs, and because of that we continue committing sins. There are other reasons, wal-aadat al-qabiha, that bad habits makes you continue doing or committing sins. Was-shayatin al-insiyya, and shaitan in the form of human beings. So these are other reasons which makes you commit sins in life. Program number 3, that the human nature is that we need to be supervised. If there is no supervision, there is no work done. So in the month of Ramadan, there is strict supervision. And subhanAllah, if you look at the month of Ramadan, that we fast, we may not be so good Muslims, but yet we do not eat. Even if you have the opportunity, you can be in the kitchen, you can be by yourself, but yet you do not eat because of that strict supervision. In your conscience, you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you. And this is with everyone. Okay. And Hajar ibn Asqalani said, Al-a'malu la takunu illa bila harakat illa siyam. That our deeds cannot take place without movements. But siyam, fasting, is one of those deeds that requires no movement. And this is why what happens is you cannot show off Ramadan. You cannot show to anyone that you are fasting. But at the same time, you can pretend you are fasting. So you can go to the iftar mahfil 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, with your nice tupi and nice dress, with a smiling face, pretending you're fasting, but you're not fasting. So you cannot show off that you are fasting. At the same time, you can pretend to people you are fasting. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Laisa fi siyam riya," that in siyam there is no riya, there is no showing off. So because of that strict supervision, we all have that within ourselves. So therefore, we don't break the fast, we don't eat anything. The 4th program is people need incentives in life. People need bonuses in life. So therefore, we find in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives us multiple rewards, bonuses, incentives in the month of Ramadan. And there are many ahadith talks about the bonuses, the incentives, the multiple rewards that we get. You do one nafil ibadah, you get the reward of 4. You pray 4, you get the reward of 70 times. If you do suhoor, you get rewards. If you break iftar, if you give iftar, there are plenty rewards in the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us incentives. Because human beings, we need that. If you are told that if you work one day, you'll get the wages or salary for 1 week, you will work 1 week. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is encouraging us, giving us incentives so that we fast. Last but not the least is maghfirah, forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives people in the month of Ramadan. Because you can do good deeds and you can try to attain taqwa, but if your sins are not forgiven, then we will be stuck. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He forgives us in the month of Ramadan. And there are many ahadith, man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. So if you fast in the month of Ramadan, Allah forgives all your past sins. And there are many other ahadith, mentioning about the forgiveness. And finally, if we remember that in the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the Quran. And the Quran will be interceding on our behalf. The Prophet ﷺ said, يَقُولُ السِّيَامْ أَيْ رَبِّي إِنِّي مَنَعْتُهُ الطَّعَامَ وَالشَّهَوَاتِ بِالنَّهَارِ. Then the Quran will say that I prevented him from eating and drinking and sleeping, because in the night we listen to the Quran. So he said, فَشَفِّعْنِي فِيهِ. So therefore accept my intercession. The Prophet ﷺ says, فَيُشَفَّعَانِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept the intercession of the Quran on the day of judgment. The Prophet ﷺ said that as-siyamu li, that Allah says, as-siyamu li, that the fasting is for me. Wa ana ajzi bihi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to directly reward you and me, because we only fast for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ says, inna fil jannati baban yuqalu lahu ar-rayyan, that there is a gate to Jannah called ar-rayyan. The only people who will be allowed to enter this gate is the people who had been fasting. And finally, the Prophet ﷺ says, لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ, that the people who are fasting, they have 2 moments of happiness. فَرْحَةً عِنْدَ فِطْرِهِ. The first moment of joy is that when you sit down with your iftar after fasting whole day and the iftar is in front of you, it is a joyful moment. And then the Prophet ﷺ says, وَفَرْحَةً عِنْدَ لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ. And the second moment of joy is that when you'll be meeting your Lord through fasting. So I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestows upon us those farha, those joys and those happiness, in particular that we can meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through fasting. So these are 5 programs that if we follow in the month of Ramadan, they are inbuilt. Inshallah will help us to attain taqwa in the month of Ramadan. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما ينبغي لجلال وجهه وعظيم سلطانه، والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم آت أنفسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع وقلب لا يخشع ونفس لا تشبع ودعاء لا يسمع. اللهم أصلح قلوبنا واستر عيوبنا واغفر ذنوبنا وأحسن خاتمتنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين وانصر من نصر الدين واخذل من خذل المسلمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عبدك ونبيك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما عدد ما أحاط به علمك خط به قلمك وأحصاه كتابك. وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن الصحابة أجمعين وعن التابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون.